The party NPP will be heading to the polls. Who becomes the next flag bearer? We'll be talking about that. Kosi, welcome.
Thank you very much, Bright, and good afternoon to you. All right, so we're going to look at the top stories for this afternoon. One dead and multiple others injured after violent clashes erupted between two youth groups at Sankor in Winneba. Concern Welcome back, and these are the details for this afternoon. Minister for Works and Housing, Kenneth Gilbert Adjei, has been keeping the nation informed about major projects aimed at flood control and sea defense. The minister also has been highlighting the government's commitment to addressing coastal erosion, particularly in the vulnerable communities. Here is what we've been looking at, or when we actually took a turn at the government's accountability series on Wednesday.
Critical flood-prone areas for interventions, as well as guided the design and execution of long-term flood mitigation strategies. Under the National Flood Control Program, spanning 2020, 2023, and 2024, my ministry has been implementing critical interventions to reduce flood-related risks. Notably, progress has been made in the construction, rehabilitation, and desilting of drains across various regions. These works have contributed significantly to improving the capacity of drainage systems, thereby reducing flood risk in identified hotspots. These interventions have resulted in the construction of an approximately 1.76 kilometers of storm drains as at December 2025. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as part of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, that's known as GARID, performance-based dredging of the Odo Channel has continued from the line sections at Caprice and Circle. A post-dredging survey indicates that a total of 90,936 cubic meters of sediment have been dredged and transported to the designated handling sites. Similarly, upgrading interventions, including the construction of storm drains, local drains, major culverts, road paving, as well as other road works in Alogoshi, Akwetema, and Nima are 58%, 62%, and 65% completed, respectively. Other drainage improvement works have also commenced at Achimota, Nima Paloma, and Kanishi. As part of the non-structural measures, various equipment have been acquired and installed across key water bodies in Accra to support the flood early warning response systems for Accra. The development of the flood early warning response systems for Accra is advanced, with servers now installed and configured for Ghana Hydrological Authority, the National Disaster Management Organization, and the Ghana Meteorological Authority. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in response to emerging flood risk in the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area, drawing on lessons from the ongoing GARID project, the government secured grant funding to conduct strategic flood risk assessments across 3 key drainage basins, i.e. Sisa, Wiwi, and Abuabo. The consultants engaged to assess community-specific vulnerabilities in low-income areas such as Abuabo and Asawasi. as well as identify flood-prone zones within the broader Kumasi urban area, have submitted draft reports to the ministry, recommending a range of flood mitigation measures. Short-term proposals include dredging and drainage cleansing, enforcing building regulations, adopting flood-sensitive land use planning, and establishing a Kumasi flood early warning system. For the medium to long term, the reports suggest removing key bottlenecks in major drains, implementing a room for the river approach to restore floodplains with prospects for resettlement, while establishing a coordinated, sustainable waste management system for the metropolis. The ministry is seeking the needed resources to begin the process that will bring relief to the people of Kumasi. The government therefore remains resolute in its commitment to sustainably address flooding and its related challenges.
From that, the Supreme Court of Ghana has set aside the Tamale High Court judgment that annulled the parliamentary election results for the Pandai constituency in the northern region, effectively halting the Electoral Commission's planned rerun. The Apex Court delivered its decision by a 4-1 majority, with Justice Gabriel Scott Pamwan, who presided as president of the bench. Dissenting the judges with the majority decision include Justices Yoni Kulendi, Amadou Tanko, Samuel Asiedu, and Henry Kofi. The court granted the application for certiorari filed by New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament Matthew Nyundam, who had challenged the High Court authority to nullify his election. Full reasons for the ruling are expected to be released on 6 February 2026, with the Supreme Court squashing the High Court judgment. The planned rerun of the Pandai parliamentary election has been halted, leaving Nyundam's parliamentary seat intact. Matthew Nyundam can thus return to Parliament as a representative of the people of Pandai. We are now going to go online and have a conversation, and we are joined on phone by Haruna Mohammed, who is the All right, so sorry for that. He's not on the line yet, but then when he comes back, we're going to get on the line and have a conversation with him. In the meantime, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has described the reclamation of destroyed lands across the country as a moral imperative that must no longer be ignored. She made this known when she paid a working visit to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources in Accra.
To ensure sustainable management of Ghana's lands and natural resources, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boah, in his presentation outlined some activities initiated to reclaim forest lands that have been lost to Galamsey. 9
of those forest reserves are now in the red zone that you can't even enter there. The bandits have taken it over with armed gangs. That in fact, it was later revised to over 6,000. That 5,500 hectares of our forest reserves, equivalent to 7,500 football fields, have been degraded. In fact, they came back and said that, no, Minister, the numbers, when we added the previous year, was actually 8,000 football fields. So it was getting, it was unthinkable. And that this almost 7,500 football fields must be reclaimed. It will cost billions of dollars to do so.
He indicated that some 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed from the red zone and are now in the safe zone.
We're also working with the Forestry Commission. One of the things we made when we came was that the Forestry Commission's law enforcement, forestry guards were completely on their knees. And so we had to retool them, we had to start motivating them and give them the tools they need. I'm happy that we're making a lot of progress. And I can tell you that the 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed from the red zones, and they are now in the safe zone.
Commending the efforts of the ministry, the Vice President of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, encouraged the ministry to continue its land reclamation efforts.
In terms of reclamation or taking care of our environment, it is not only a moral imperative. We're talking about our survival. When you hear that a woman has gone through all the difficulty and has delivered a baby in this shape, it's not a funny story. And this is not something we should be encouraging, for any reason. And even if you made the money, how are you going to translate the money into that kind of satisfaction? So setting up the teams is very, very important, and I want to commend you to do even more, that we are talking about our lives. It's not that I don't live in this area, but you will benefit from it, good or bad. So it is something that we should all be very, very interested in protecting our environment, is protecting ourselves.
Professor Nana Jane further lauded the decision by the ministry to disseminate their service officers outside Accra to ensure easy access to the ministry at the various districts and assemblies.
Still on, the Vice President of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, she has expressed satisfaction with what she describes as efficient interventions by the Ministry of Energy, noting that the measures are already producing the enabling results the government had anticipated. She made these remarks during her visit to the ministry.
The Vice President's visit forms part of her familiarization tour of key government ministries and agencies to have first-hand information on what goes on at the ministry.
Those of you who used to buy fuel during the NPP time, fuel price went as much as 23 cedi per litre. 23 cedi. Today, in your administration, Madam, in the administration of President John Dramani Mahama, you buy the same quantity for 9 cedi. And that is the difference. From 23 cedi, we are now doing 9 cedi. And so through strategic reforms, fiscal discipline, and a firm commitment to our green transition, we're making a lot of progress.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, outlined a series of interventions undertaken by the ministry, highlighting that after 10 months, they've not had a single issue of load shedding, which has led to an increase in investor confidence.
We're going to procure some additional power, because if you look at the next slide, you realize that 2026, if nothing is done, we're going to have a deficit of 294. 2027, 658. 2028, 1,470. Because of the way the economy is picking up, there's a lot of increased consumption when it comes to electricity. And so we must match that pace. And to do so, we must be very innovative. So we are coming up with either competitive tendering, or we use VRA as the front, so that we can have cheaper power for the people of Ghana.
In her address, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, described the interventions by the Energy Ministry as a good story.
We had huge debts. We were threatened with power cuts even before we took over. And it wasn't an amusing situation at all. So we are very, very grateful, especially the efficiency you have brought in ensuring that we are responding to our debts. When you showed a certain slide showing, what we need to do this year, next year, and so on. And this raised for me the importance of long-term planning. It's very, very important. And for all of us, sticking to long-term planning. That is one way in which we can solve problems of this country in effective and efficient ways. Is very, very important.
The Vice President's visit underscores government's resolve to develop a robust energy sector with leaders working collaboratively to ensure Ghanaians are safe.
Let's turn our attention now to politics, as the new Patriotic Party flag-bearer hopeful Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has concluded a nationwide tour of all 276 constituencies ahead of the party's presidential primaries scheduled for Saturday, January 31st, 2026. The tour comes off just months after NPP's defeat in the 2024 general elections, which ended the party's 8-year tenure in government.
In response, the party's National Council adopted an early reorganization plan. Beginning with the election of a flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia launched his campaign, dubbed Our Journey Together. On October 15, 2025, in Sine East in the Bono East region, the tour spanned the entire country with intermittent breaks for official and public engagements. According to his campaign team, the objective was to engage party members at the grassroots, solicit feedback, and discuss strategies for revitalizing the party following the 2024 elections. During his nationwide engagement, Dr. Bawumia referenced the party's electoral performance, noting a decline of over 2 million votes compared to the 2020 elections. He attributed the outcome primarily to economic challenges and voter dissatisfaction, urging party members to avoid internal divisions. A major theme of the campaign was the welfare of grassroots members. Dr. Bawumia held meetings with constituency executives, polling station officers, electoral area coordinators, and party activists, outlining proposals to improve engagement and recognition at the constituency level. This included regular interactions between national leadership and grassroots members, as well as measures to acknowledge the contributions of party workers. The campaign was conducted under guidelines emphasizing decorum and respect among aspirants. Dr. Bawumia consistently encouraged supporters to focus on policy ideas, experience, and party cohesion, stressing the importance of internal unity ahead of the 2028 general elections. Dr. Bawumia concluded the tour in the Ashanti region, thanking party members for their participation and urging delegates to conduct themselves peacefully during the primaries. He pledged that efforts will be made to unify the party after the internal election and refocus on preparations for the 2028 polls. The NPP presidential primaries are set for Saturday, January 31, 2026.
And still on, MPP presidential candidate Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has received strong backing in the Bantama constituency, with 15 out of the 19 electoral area coordinators and 14 of the 17 constituency executives publicly declaring their support for him. Addressing delegates during a campaign visit to the constituency, Bantama constituency chairman Fifi Mensah alongside Vice Chairman Kingsley Atta announced the endorsement and expressed confidence in Dr. Bawumia's leadership and vision. There is more.
The opposition New Patriotic Party will on Saturday, January 31, pick its presidential candidates for the 2028 elections. Former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will face off with former Asen Central MP Kennedy Ejapong, former NPP General Secretary Kwabena Ejapong, former Education Minister Yao Osei Educhum, and former Agricultural Minister Brian Champong. The party executives and delegates in Bantama believe the level of grassroots support reflects widespread confidence in Dr. Bawumia's candidacy and signals strong momentum heading into the party's primaries.
Out of 19 coordinators, Mijina Akase, Yemu 15.
Out of the 19 coordinators in the constituency, 15 of us have decided to vote for Dr. Bawumia. We also promise that before the election day, some of the other coordinators will join us.
All right, so we're going to go back to the story on Pandai earlier on when I spoke to you on that, and then also we're going to go back to the phones like I told you earlier on, as we are going to be speaking to Haruna Mohammed, who happens to be the Deputy General Secretary of MPP. Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
All right, so we're still expecting him to speak to us. All right, so good afternoon to you, sir. All right, good to have you on Newsbeat on Good Afternoon Ghana. This is a welcoming news for the party, is it not?
It's a welcoming news for our democracy, not just the New Patriotic Party. We have laws in Ghana, And there is a reason why we have enacted those laws to govern our elections and our governance system. So it's not just a victory for the party, it's a victory for our democracy.
All right, so we thank God for that. So let me ask you this. I mean, what do you make of the ruling of the Supreme Court and how the judges have conducted themselves in this trial?
I think that the New Patriotic Party has always lived fidelity to the law. And today's ruling has resonated in the processes that we have filed and the questions that we have asked relative to the judgment that was given in the High Court in Tamale. The judges in this particular matter are judges who have decided on subsequent other cases before, and the very clear and recent case is the 11th of June case, which was relative to the Akwatia one, which was very specific, and we knew very well that with that particular stance of the judges with respect to the law, where the assembled press was pointed to that it is the only valid declaration or gazetted document that ought to be the case to be used in court, and also pointing to the PRDC Law 234 and the specific sections that indicate the timeline for filing of parliamentary petitions or presidential petitions. We know vividly on law or on the point of law that it was out of time, and this has been confirmed by the court based on previous cases that we have cited in Hawaii Akubu, also in Akwatia, and also in subsequent other cases that we have done before the Supreme Court. I believe that the rule of law will continue to uphold.
So, I mean, finally, let me ask you this. What do you think are some of the steps that you are going to take concerning the party in moving forward so that at least some of the things that you have said that you would implement will continue to be the way that things are supposed to go?
Well, for the party, when we finish the elections, you know that we set up a committee to look at why we lost the elections. People were given the opportunity to talk. They went to all the 276 constituencies across the country. The committee presented a report before the National Council. The National Council looked at the report and made recommendations on certain matters. We set up the Constitutional Review Committee, where we teased out matters that concerns reforms within the party. We went ahead to do a conference that adopted certain motions within the party. On that particular basis, we made efforts to increase the number of people on the voters' roll in terms of our delegate system, where we indicated from the Michael Oquaye Committee's report of limited expansion. We did a limited expansion, which added former executives, former MPs, and former appointees, and also added patrons from the TESCOM fraternity, and also specifying that it is not a TESCOM representative, it should be a TESCOM president. So these are reforms that are going to strengthen the party going forward. Again, apart from that, we have also done a number of things in terms of granting amnesty to certain persons who were suspended within the party. We also set up a committee to look at that. We have also opened nominations for presidential primaries to have an early presidential candidate who is going to be the aspirant for the party from the various recommendations that have been done. Rebuilding the party going forward is not an event, it's a process, so we are on course. The General Secretary is following keenly all the recommendations, and these are recommendations that we ought not make public because they form part of the strategy for us to win election 2028.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haruna Mohammed, for talking to us. And away from that, on Metro TV's flagship program, Good Morning Ghana, former editor of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., said Kennedy Agyapong continues to improve his chances of emerging victorious in the presidential primaries if opinion polls are anything to go by. However, former Greater Accra Regional Minister Titus Glover maintains that Mahamudu Bawumia is ahead of all their candidates in terms of governance and competence.
Some of us who believe in Dr. Bawumia, in the fact that the vision that he's carrying and the fact that he has a lot of competence when it comes to governance. He's a great thinker who can think outside the box to support his boss at the time in terms of initiatives that he really brought to the table for governance and all that. Also, his emotional intelligence. I mean, in the midst of all these attacks on him, he has remained focused on exactly what he wants to achieve and all that. And above all, about his humility. In this country, people look at so many things when you want to cast a ballot. I remember in 92, you heard some people saying that, me and my vote my Rollins because he have for a chore. They look at his complexion, you know, that influences his choice of voting and all that. So Ghanaians are very particular about certain things they want to find out in the candidates.
Now, if you take the polls which say that there's bound to be a second round, what does that tell you? What that tells you straight away is that ultimately Brian Acheampong is going to be the kingmaker. Most of the polls I've seen place him third.
Yes.
So he appears, from what the polls are saying, not me, what the polls are saying, he appears to have enough votes to become the decider if there's a second round. So he becomes a very important person in this, primary, this election. There are a few polls which are suggesting that he's on the rise and that within the last 3 weeks he's made substantial gains. Now, if you look at the trajectory, it does appear that those polls are suggesting that he could place second. If the trend continues for the next few days, every day he's improving. That's what the trend suggests. I'm not saying that I believe the prediction, okay? But if that prediction is true and he falls into second place, then Kennedy Akompreku becomes the kingmaker. Because he would then have enough votes to decide who wins.
All right, continue to stay with us as Metro TV will bring you extensive coverage of the MPP primaries coming off this Saturday, the 31st of January 2026. Let's turn our attention now to Kitasi. After years of prolonged delay, construction work has resumed on the 195 million cedi Dome Kitasi Road project. Metro TV's Ekuya Abebu returned to the area to gauge the mood of residents and has come through with the following report.
It's the Dome Kitasi Road, a major road that links the Greater Accra region with the Eastern region. Construction of the road project began in 2022 and was scheduled for completion in 24 months. Construction work was later halted due to funding constraints linked to Ghana's IMF bailout and subsequent debt restructuring. Now, 4 months ago, we were here to document the daily hardships faced by commuters and residents who ply this road. Take a look. If you find yourself on this road, whether in a car or on a motorcycle, you must brace yourself for a bumpy ride. As you can see, I'm struggling to keep my balance because my body keeps moving up and down. One moment you are slightly airborne and the next moment you are slammed back into your seat. This is what commuters go through daily. And although there are assurances that construction work on the road will soon resume, commuters are demanding not just promises, but real, visible progress. Ekuya Abebu, Metro News. Construction work on the road has finally resumed, and we're back here to find out from commuters what this renewed activity means to them. I have one of them with me. Hi, you're welcome to Metro News.
Hello.
Work has resumed on the road. Does this bring some form of relief to you?
Oh yes, I'm taxi driver on the road. And first time when I see the road, it's spoiling our cars, but now they are cut it or they are grade it. So now we need water and they have to do more work for us. We beg them, we beg the president and the MPs.
Are you optimistic that this time around the work will be completed without further delays?
Yeah, I can see the way they don't grade the road because I can see they are already started missing the sun already. So I did sure say Mahama will finish this road.
Since they stopped, using the road became a problem, very rigid. But now that they've resumed on it, moving on it has become very smooth, and we are comfortable with that. We pray they continue and finish in time for us to enjoy the better of the road. Yes.
It's a good news to see that they have started with this road because it's been very rough. We are real estate developers, and we own this site over here for development. And since the road has not been good, it's been really negative developing it. But we're hoping that they will be able to finish so that we can continue with our job.
Meanwhile, attempts to engage First Sky Construction, contractor in charge of the project, to know the progress made so far have proved futile.
And away from Kitasi road construction, let's look at Oti region. And one of the neglected tropical diseases, ringworm, has broken out in parts of Abutuase in the Biakuye district of Oti region, raising serious public health concerns. A sudden surge in ringworm infections among pupils in several schools has alarmed parents, teachers, and health officials, prompting urgent intervention by the Member of Parliament for Biakuye constituency, Jean Marie Fomadi, and the District Health Directorate and the District Chief Executive. For Newsbeat on Good Afternoon Ghana, Bright Ameni takes over from here.
All right, thank you so much, Kwesi Kwetia, coming through with those updates from around the country. And on 31st of January, as we gear for the MPP flag bearership race, don't forget a number of 22,264 delegates will be exercising their franchise to vote for a new flag bearer for the MPP. Among the five, who do you think deserves to be given a nod? You can share this with us. There are social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are. You can share with us your take on it. Beginning with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, engineer Kwabena Ejaye Japan. You can speak of Dr. Osei Educhum. You can speak of Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, and also you can speak of Brian Echampon. So don't you go nowhere. Stay with us here this afternoon as we try to make sense of some of the campaigns that have happened so far, especially that of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has ended his tour of the entire 16 regions across every constituency here in the country, telling people why he deserved to be voted for. So stay with us, don't go nowhere. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. I'll be back.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspections, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji, Dabio, baby wom. Ready? Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji, I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral?
Say a sorry insecticide GB at a user. Ko pharmacy na shop biamu. Na mum say a pharmacy, supermarket, and a shop ra. Na repedudu to akotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. FE spray with Daimwa.
This is a chance of a lifetime.
together.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
In every school, there is history. In every homecoming, there is pride. But in 2025, pride became competition. From convoys that shook the streets to colors worn with honor, from powerful reunions to legacy projects that will stand forever. Metro TV asked one bold question: which school truly owned the legacy in 2025? Welcome to School's Homecoming 2025. Who is who? Send your school name, convoy videos, speech and prize giving highlights, and your 2025 legacy projects to 0550 090 702. School's Homecoming, my school, my pride. This event is sponsored by Zoom Lion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
The survey indicates that 69.7% of respondents described Dr. Bawumia's message as clear and convincing, the highest among the candidates assessed. He was followed by Ken Ohene-Agyapong with 48.3% and Brian Acheampong with 40.5%, while the remaining aspirants recorded marginal figures. Africa Policy Lenses data further show that campaign outreach significantly influenced delegates' preferences. About 91.9% of respondents said they were physically present during visits by presidential aspirants, while 6% followed the engagement through media and social media platforms. Only 2.1% indicate they did not follow the campaigns at all. On constituency coverage, the poll found that Dr. Bawumia, Ken Ohene-Agyapong and Brian Acheampong had visited nearly all constituencies. More than 97% of respondents confirmed visits by Dr. Bawumia, while Ken Ohene-Agyapong recorded 98.4% and Brian Acheampong 82.6%. Regarding key campaign themes, delegates said aspirants performed best on party unity and reconciliation, 52.9%, and support for grassroots members and delegates, 51.9%. Policy vision for the country accounted for 28.3%, while internal party reforms received 10.5%. The poll also outlines the demographic profile of respondents, showing 76.1% male and 23.9% female participation. Most respondents were aged 36 to 45 years, followed by the 46 to 60 years group. Nearly all respondents, 93.3%, were polling station executives.
And there you have it from the Africa Policy Lens with the latest polls, should I say, on the market, concerning the MPP as the go for their polls coming the 31st of January 2026, who becomes the next flag bearer of the party going into election 2028. Let's now go on Zoom and speak to Dr. Hayford Ayerekwa. How I mentioned the name correct? Ayerekwa, Senior Researcher, Africa Policy Lens, on Zoom for a conversation. Doc, a very good afternoon to you. Help me correct the name if I butchered it, did I?
Well, you did butcher it, but you are pardoned. It's Ayerekwa.
Ayerekwa, forgive me. Right. First of all, I mean, one of the big conversations when we see polls of such stature, and people ask, where are you getting your polls from? Where are you getting your data from? How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, thank you. This is not the first time that we are releasing a poll. It's something that we've been doing from last year, since the MPP announced that they would want to. In fact, our very first poll did come out in February 2025. That is when we actually conducted the post-election issues, post-election survey to find out what exactly went wrong with the MPP's contest in the last election, and sought to get the input from delegates who they would want to them to represent, who they would want to represent them as flag bearer. So we've been doing this for some time. Now, this very last one, as you rightly indicated in your report, started on the 8th of December, and we concluded it on the 23rd of January, which is this last week. Now, fast forward, how did we get the delegates? So there is a delegate register to start with, which has been used in the past. And this delegates register is not changing, except that they are adding, of course, they've done an audit of the register, and they are adding a few more people, or has taken away those who might have passed away. And so that is the current state. So that register is available and can be accessed. So given that the MPP's election focuses on 50% plus one, it means that we could comfortably treat the country as one constituency like we do for the national elections. And so we put all the delegates together and randomized. But of course, in the randomization, keeping in mind that there could be geographical contextual issues, we also condition our randomization on the 276 constituencies, ensuring that every constituency is fairly represented. So that was done. And if you look at the margin of error we are working with, we are actually working with a 2% margin of error. And so with that, we needed just a little over 4,000 people. But we actually decided to have an expanded a sample so that we could actually, have our statistical issues purely taken care of. And so in total, we spoke to 9,122 delegates who were delegates. And as you rightly indicated in your report, 99% of these people that we randomized and spoke to were actually polling station executives. What it means is that these were people who really are at the base of the MPP structure. There were few other people who were constituency and regional as well as national executives who we sampled as part of that randomization. But in most instances, they declined indicating and taking part in a survey, indicating mostly that they were a part of the organization at the constituency or regional level and wouldn't want to be aligned to a particular candidate. However, a few of such individuals openly declared their position within that discussion.
I know you may have heard this statement, fear delegates. Could anything different happen before, to say, prior to the main election, at least between the evening of Friday and the morning of Saturday? Can anything change?
A lot, as I speak to you, when we released this poll yesterday, our intelligence and monitoring, which we have deployed across the country, is actually already indicating that there's a lot that is going on already. There's so much that individuals, contestants have already deployed. And if I tell you the kind of things that have already exchanging hands, you'll be amazed. And so
hold on, please. I'm not let you go into end that sentence. You just mentioned that there are some things exchanging hands. So what are some of these things exchanging hands? Care to share with us?
Well, we currently are picking intelligence, and we will need to double check before. But the point I was trying to establish is that this is one of the fiercely contested internal primaries in recent history. And so there's a lot of stakes at hand. And we are picking intelligence that some candidates are already identifying specific delegates and are actually making effort. In fact, this morning, one of the things we are following up in one of the constituencies is indicating that as high as motorbikes are already changing hands. I mean, candidates are gifting motorbikes.
Motorbikes are being given.
And that, if we are able to verify this, is going to be an interesting contest.
Since it's an alleged statement, which of the camps is giving all these motorbikes? I mean, allegedly.
I would want to hold it because, again, these are intelligence we are picking. We would want to engage some of the recipients to be able to show that what we are hearing is true. But interestingly, delegates are quite very interesting. Now, we threw up a question which we didn't report in this survey, but to find out whether or not what can influence them. But about 80% of these delegates are saying that they know what to do, their minds are made up. But there's still some window of some people who still believe that, look, they would use this as a bargaining chip and get what they have to get, because they are not even certain that when they go into elections to elect polling station executives, they would potentially be elected again. And so for some of them, this might be their last opportunity to get anything that they have to get. So that dynamics is there. And in any election of this sort, 24 hours is long enough to make a change. And so the dynamics are quite fluid, but I am quite optimistic that based on the robustness checks that we have done and the kind of engagements that we did with test of the research that we have conducted, even if there is any change, I do not expect this to significantly influence the outcome of what we are seeing in the data.
Let me ask you what may probably be my last question. If I don't end up asking you any follow-ups from your answer, you may have heard, prophecies. I mean, one of the most standouts is what we've heard so far from Prophet El Bernard, who says, by hook or crook, Kennedy or Hene Japan will emerge winner. That is contrary to your posts or say your research work. Don't you believe in prophecy? Don't you believe in Christianity? Don't you believe in your pastor? And you believe what you've done, the posts you've gathered, the research you've done, will be the winner of the day. You believe in that?
Well, so I must say I'm a Christian. I believe in prophecies. El Bernard is one man of God I have great respect for. I have known him from our student days, and I have known him as a personal brother and friend. He's a great man of God, and I work with the data. I only speak to the data. The data we have collected so far from delegates across the country shows that if elections are held today, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia would emerge as the winner. This is purely my data. This is the data we have, and I can only speak to what I know. I cannot speak to what I do not know in the spiritual realm.
Is it sponsored? Is your research, was it sponsored by any of these candidates? I mean, just to clarify some of their notions.
No. So if you look at, it is an APO self-sponsored poll. And so APO has a dedicated call center that we use to conduct our polls. And so this is a well-structured system that we are consistently, on a daily basis, we are conducting a poll. As I speak to you, there's a team working on a different aspect of things that APL is involved in. And so we are always doing this. And so this is not sponsored at all.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. We've been speaking to him here this afternoon concerning what exactly is happening with the MPP. And I'm trying not to, mess with the name. So the name is Dr. Ayarikwa, and not like you mentioned. So apologies for the earlier mispronunciation of the name. Thank you so much for speaking to us. He is with the Africa Policy Lens, and according to their polls, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stands a chance of winning the elections if it happens today, like now. with a figure of 69.9%. And I'm glad to be joined in studio by Dennis Miracles Abuaje, who is Director of Communications for the Bawumia campaign team. I don't even want to ask him, I don't want my first question to be if he believes or if he believes in what Africa Policy is saying, but rather, what are they also picking up from their in-house research they've done? I know definitely they are also doing their own research, having their own figures collated, speaking to people, understanding them what exactly they want, probably why they want to vote for who or not. So, welcome to the show, Miracle.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm glad you're starting to listen to what
Dr. Hayford.
Yes.
Okay.
Told us.
Yeah.
You don't know him from anywhere? Have you met him before?
No, I know Dr. Hayford. I think they've been doing this for a while. For the campaigns, we typically receive these reports.
Mm-hmm.
So we know most of the posters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, almost as of yesterday, when I received 2 more emails, I have been dealing with about 14 different posters and survey institutions across the country. So yeah.
14?
Yes, 14.
And they are all positive for Dr.
Oh, no, not all of them. Some are
like how many of them?
I think 3.
3 are for
yes,
Dr. Kennedy Ejapon.
No. 2 I think was for Ken and
Ken.
1 was for Brian.
1 is for Brian,
Yes.
and 2 is for Ken.
Yes.
Interesting. Anyways, thank you so much for
And
joining
11
us.
for Dr. Bawumia.
And 11 for Dr. Bawumia.
Yeah.
I asked him a question about El Bernard, Prophet El Bernard. Prophecies, I mean, he's entered the spiritual realm. He says, listen, come 31st of January, Kennedy Ejapon will be announced winner after the elections are over. He's a prophet. He is looking into the spiritual realm. You are probably working with data.
I believe in God. I am a Christ believer Christian. So I believe there are miracles, and I believe there are prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not one that will contend with what a prophecy is God has told him, because I wasn't there when God spoke to him. It may be true that God has spoken to him. It may also be false, or it could also be that God, after speaking to him, decided to change his mind. And we were taught and trained in the children's service that God can change his mind anytime, and he owes us no explanation.
Right.
And so when it comes to spiritualities, we're all in the hands of the Almighty God. We pray to him. I have gone down on my knees and dedicated this whole contest into God's hands. And I've told him that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should win to the glory of his name. The principalities and powers, the terrestrial spirits that have risen against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia are too many. And for God's glory to be seen, it should be shown through Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's victory. And as far as I know, I am yet to experience God's disappointment. I have never experienced it. He's never failed me before. Not once.
But
not once.
Last 2024, the team didn't win.
No, you did.
That wasn't a failure.
That doesn't mean God failed me. That doesn't mean you don't know what God and I discussed. So God has never failed me before. You see, God's victory in our lives is not only about the momentary wins or victories that we see. There are things that God will do in your life that you may think is a loss.
Right.
But God is preparing you for greater things. And that is what happened in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's life in 2024. And it's happened in so many. Just when you thought somebody is down, that's when you see him rise. God has lifted so many men from when everybody had given up on them into places where people get amazed. And so I am not one of those believers who doubt God's strength in our lives and think that God should always do things the way we see it.
Right.
And so I would not be contending with a prophet's, prophecy. My only concern is how we are making mockery of our Lord and Savior Jesus. How one God that we all serve, one Jesus Christ that we all worship God through, will be telling different people different things. That is very strange. Our God is not a kind of God that changes his mouth. Our God says it, and that is what it is. And nobody can contend with him. As it stands now, you are making a mockery of our religion because You have people who don't really believe in our Savior, who is standing behind us and say, look at them. How can one God tell all of you different things? And they are making a mockery of us. Because whatever it is, somebody is lying. One prophet out of the two, or the numerous, some prophets are lying. They may also not be lying deliberately, because these days, people even interpret dreams as visions. I'm not judging anybody. Neither am I. I'm only concerned about our way of doing things as Christians in this context.
Right.
And why do we even throw ourselves in these canal conversations? And why would one God tell you a different thing and tell me a different on the same subject matter? Our God is not like that. Our God doesn't behave that way. Our God is not a hypocrite. And so, in about 72 hours, we will get to see. But that does not, in any way, negate the strength of our God.
I know you may have heard some of these conversations as to why almost every single campaign platform Dr. Bawumia has climbed. One thing has been clear, the fact that he has distanced himself from a lot of things that were done during the previous administration. Why has that been a major, issue during his campaign conversations?
That's false.
That's false.
There is not a single instance or evidence of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It's a narrative that was built by the opponents. When? Where? How? Give me one instance. One. When? He has never. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaigned 80% on the performance of the previous government. So where? When did he do that? He has never. That's a false
with
narrative.
apologies.
Which apology?
He has apologized.
But
for
if you apologize, then it's a distancing. Because he apologized to the Ghanaian people that we could have done better means that he's distanced himself. Is that what it means? The party itself has apologized. Has the party distanced itself from the party? The General Secretary was with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on the thank you tour. What is wrong with admitting that there are certain things that we could have done better? And that if given another opportunity, we'll do things a bit different from how we did it in the past. How is that a problem? Is that distancing? So there is no fact that backs that misleading narrative. Because that narrative was actually built by the NDC against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. There was not a single time. If, for example, you make an allegation against me, or I make an allegation against you at Metro TV, okay, that how is it that Good Evening Ghana, you're supposed to do this, I didn't do that, and you tell me that, oh no, I work on Good Afternoon Ghana, so I don't directly work on Good Evening Ghana production, so I'll have to talk to the production guy.
Right.
It doesn't mean you've distanced yourself from Metro TV, is it? But you are only indicating or stating a matter of fact. It's not a fact that you don't work on the production of Good Evening Ghana. It's a fact that you work with the production on Good Afternoon Ghana. But it doesn't change the fact that you are Metro TV. And it doesn't mean that you've distanced yourself. So that's a false narrative that we should put aside. There are serious bread and butter issues that we are going to look at going into the future.
Do you think Dr. Bawumia has been struggling to communicate what exactly his intentions are?
No. Well, he's quite clear with the delegates. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been the most clear, factual-based, issue-based, campaigner so far. Your problem is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia deliberately and purposely decided to shield our party's conversation from the public space. So you are not hearing controversies. You are not hearing comments that bring our party into bad light. But with the delegates, we have been communicating clearly why we believe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the best person to lead the party. In every meeting. Why should an MPP delegates meeting be beamed live on your screens? Of what use is that to you? When the real conversation is to convince the delegate as to why I am the right person to lead the party. When we finish that and we come to the conversations of why he should lead Ghana, that is where you are interested. Are you an MPP member? You get what I'm saying? So I have always been against that practice of a campaign, then you have media people with cameras. Surely there are conversations meant for our party people that are not meant for the general public. And so once those things come out, then it throws our party in a very bad light. And that for me is a problem. And that's what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign has refused to do. That's why you don't get to hear some of the things that you want to hear. There's not a single controversial statement you can point to in this campaign from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is it? Because he has stuck to the issues. And he has stayed focused from beginning to end. and now he's done with his constituency engagements.
Anytime you go on your campaign trail, I mean, what do the delegates tell you?
The delegates are basically looking for that one person that stands a better chance to win 2028 elections. That's what they care about. A political party is not a church. It's not a religious organization. It is a party that exists to win elections and govern. As long as you remain in opposition and you haven't won an election to govern, you don't deserve to call yourself what it is that you want to call yourself. So all the party people are dedicated. They are very focused in getting a leader that will win his power. And that is the driving force when it comes to the decision-making point. So the real decision-making point for the MPP delegates is who amongst you can win his power. And that's what they keep telling you. How do you intend to win power for the MPP? Why do you think amongst these 5 people, you are the best person to lead us for victory? That's the sort of conviction they want to have from the candidates. And that's what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia gives them.
I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. I mean, first of all, if you've even had the time to listen or even watch Dr. Frimpong Boateng's interview that he granted and some of the comments he made as to why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should not specifically be voted for. Have you listened to it?
Yes, but I don't know why we are discussing.
There's a question that will come up.
Yes,
I just want to understand.
I have listened. And he will say that because he doesn't mean well for the MPP.
He doesn't mean well for the MPP?
Yes. Because if he meant well for the MPP, he wouldn't have abstained from voting in 2024. If you didn't vote in 2024, it means that clearly you are bitter. There's something that you have against the MPP.
Isn't that him making it clear that I don't want Dr. Bawumia?
Then if you get who you want, I won't vote. Would it make your person win? Is that how political organizations are run? If your person that you want, if the person that Professor Frimpong Boateng wants wins, and the rest of us also decide not to vote, how is he going to win the election? Is that how political organizations? Everybody in NDC wants Mahama? Is that the case? Everybody in MPP who voted in 2016 and 2020 for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to win wanted Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Did you ever hear Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo get 100% in our primaries before? So surely there were individuals who may not have voted for him, but they still turned out for the MPP, campaigned, canvassed, and voted for the MPP. What the professor said is unfortunate. And I'm glad he himself has said that he's no longer part of our party. I'm very, very glad. Because if he was part of our party, I'll be surprised. No loyal, committed MPP person would abstain from voting, especially person of his stature. You are one of the biggest beneficiaries of MPP in this country. You are one of the biggest beneficiaries. In fact, there are people who have even, how do we even put it? People who have even suffered more than you, who didn't get a quarter of the benefits you've gained from the MPP. The recognition, the honor than you. And then you abstain from voting, and what is even more painful is that you decide not to vote, and you are able to flaunt it on national television that I didn't vote. I don't think that Professor Frimpong Boateng really deserves for us to be discussing when it comes to MPP, because he wouldn't want Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to win, because he knows when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wins, he stands a better chance of winning power for the MPP, and he doesn't want MPP to win power. Because if he wanted MPP to win power, he won't abstain from voting.
No, but he said the current MPP is fake.
It's okay, so he should let us be.
But you get
after all, we have General Mosquito to contend with.
We have who to contend with?
General Mosquito, the NDC chairman.
To contend with
to contend with. I mean, they are opposition, right? So if Professor Frimpong Boateng has decided to join them, we know that we have another additional.
Has he told you that he's joining them?
Yes, he says he's no longer part of the party. He said it on air.
But he's mentioned he's joining the NDC?
He said he's no longer part of the MPP.
No, but you have mentioned, you just mentioned him.
And then he makes commentary.
Has he told you?
No, his commentary validates some of the things and NDC says. And so clearly, I mean, if you hear an NDC person speaking, and you hear Professor Frimpong Boateng speaking and you close your eyes, you may think it's an NDC person.
Do you get worried? Let's say, if Dr. Bawumia should win the elections after 31st January, how worried are you now that some of these utterances from some of your political party members may affect the chances going into the next elections?
Let's be honest with ourselves. MPP is going through our time. We're having our moment. But politics has a structure. The NDC has suffered more turbulence in their party than the MPP. But the NDC is here. Listen, the number of times the NDC has split up in this country, MPP hasn't split up even a quarter of that. the number of times the NDC has split up in this country. MPP hasn't split up a quarter of times. Do you remember the NDP? Is it DPP? Obeda Samoa, Bedzidin, and Francis Esiam, when they went for the national conference in Koforidua, where they poured hot water and hot pepper on them. They came, the NDC split. They formed a party out of it. You remember? Do you remember the founder's wife, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rollins, the late, may her soul rest in perfect peace. After the Fonka Games, split and formed NDP. MPP hasn't seen even a quarter of what NDC has gone through. But NDC didn't collapse. And so if NDC didn't collapse and survived, what makes you think MPP will collapse? Let me tell you, in 2016, we had a similar challenge. 6 months to elections, our party was in crisis. We had our general secretary and our national chairman being suspended 6 months to elections. But we won the elections. Because the Ghanaian voter, when it is time for them to cast their vote, is listening to the people who are speaking and asking themselves, where we are now as a country, who amongst all these people seeking to be president is espousing the ideas and vision that will consolidate the gains we have made,
right,
and take Ghana to the level that we all aspire to be. At that point, that's what that matters to the Ghanaian voter. The internal issues would always be dealt with. The point I'm making is that political parties go through phases, and these are not things that affect the fortunes of political parties, even though we would wish it is not like that.
Just this morning, I saw a video circulating on social media. I mean, I'll always go back to social media because, I mean, whether misinformation, whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, it comes back to affecting whatever image you are trying to build. Some comments made by the former vice running mates of Dr. Mbomia during the 2024 elections, probably known as Napo, where he mentioned that in the cabinets there were not much of or say Sebi.
He didn't say he didn't say there was not much of.
Okay, so what did he say?
I think he's been completely misquoted, of course, as usual.
I mean, there's a video.
Yes, but have you watched the video?
I have.
So this is what he say. In the video, he says that he has been in cabinet for so many years, and he took so many policies to cabinet. At some point, almost every cabinet meeting, he's taking a policy there. And throughout his time in cabinet, there was not a single time that in the room he felt that there was anybody that is as smart as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Menhu obia or what them were.
So Okasabe.
No. Now Okasabe, so one can say nyanse ni bi ani dem. That's not what he said. Come on, guys. The misquotation can be on social media, but on TV, let's fix it.
That's
if you like, let's play the Tree TV. Let's play the Tree TV again and let's analyze it. Come on. If I go and say that I have encountered a lot of hosts on Metro TV, but I don't think any of them beat you in terms of smartness, does it mean that I'm saying they are not smart? Does it mean I'm saying they are not smart? No, we are having a conversation.
I'm also listening to you.
So that's exactly what he said. He never said anywhere. He never played a video. He said, Ninji Niso Biwo cabinet and Nana Dreamwood Pro Nimnya Sassen Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He never said, that doesn't mean that there are no smart people in the room. When I say that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the best person to lead the MPP, it doesn't mean the other four cannot lead the MPP. I said best. Good, better, best. Good is not worse. Good is not bad. But better is better than good. And best is better than better. Come on, let's stop some of these things and allow people to express. Right now, you've put a spin to a very genuine comment that the man made, and all of a sudden,
I have not put a spin to it. I mean, this is a very huge conversation ongoing.
It's not supposed to be huge, but for mischief. I've just told you yourself, in your own appraiser, at least after listening to you, should have at least after saying what I said. No, but I have listened, and I don't think that's what he meant.
No, I wouldn't want to judge.
No, you should.
I wouldn't want to judge.
See, the only media fraternity that I've seen done justice, close to what I think he actually said is, I have never seen anyone in cabinet as wise and smart as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in my 7.5 years in cabinet. Does this mean that everybody in cabinet is smart or is not sensible?
Right.
So what are we doing?
Absolutely.
I haven't seen anybody as intelligent as you are. It means that everybody is daft. Is that what it means?
But don't you think sometimes probably it may not be what was said, but maybe the timing.
If someone else had said it and it wasn't Apu, I'm not sure we'll be having this conversation. I could have even
because
said
he was a running mate in 2024.
No, it is him. You guys like to pick on him. It's like when he's speaking, you are putting some microscope on him. He said nothing wrong. He's here. Read it with an open mind and tell me what he said wrong. Why?
So you think people are just picking on?
I don't think. Read what he said.
No, you just said.
What
so
do you also think? What do you also think?
I'm not thinking anything.
Oh,
please.
at least you can have your own view.
No, I don't have my own view. Please, that's why I'm speaking to you for
How
clarity.
is this even news?
That's why we are speaking for clarity.
How is this even news?
It is news to me. It is news for the
It's
general public.
unfair.
If it wasn't, it wouldn't be a conversation.
It's unfair to
this.
No, but everybody picks a spin, a propaganda spin on something, and it becomes news. I didn't know you.
But if you don't clarify,
I'm just taking a video of you. I'm going to post it on my way making news. No, but I mean, in all fairness, I think everybody listening to him knows exactly what he meant. He's just been, there's a propaganda spin that has been put on it.
I mean, for a number of times, we've heard some of the NDC members, from MPs to Star Wars and all that, say that Kennedy or Henry Japan will be best will be better for the MPs going to during elections than them giving another chance to Dr. Bawumia. Why would you think an opposition party or say your contender would want to give an advice on your flag bearer?
Because they want you to fail. They want you to fail. You are going to play football. You are in a league. You are likely to go. So Ghana is going to the World Cup. Ghana has teams like and social media army to back Honorable Kennedy Japan. The party people are also wise. Every MPP delegate is asking himself, why is the NDC attempting to choose a flag bearer for us? Why is the NDC attempting to choose a flag? It will not work. The NDC cannot come into MPP and come and tell us to pick Kennedy Japan. No. The MPP delegates will choose who they deem fit to lead our party. Why is the NDC so keen on having Kennedy Japan as their opponent? Why? You are going to have a contest with the MPP, but you want to choose who would contend with you in the main election. Why? And you think that they will choose the strongest one? You think so? Why do you think NDC, why is the NDC thinking they are some extraordinary political party all of a sudden because they won 1 election? There has been 9 elections in Ghana since the 4th Republic. MPP has won 4. NDC has won 5. NDC has won 5 because they won the first one. They are not extraordinary. It's just an election that they won 1. In the last 12 years, there's been 3 elections. MPP has won 2. NDC has won 1. If they were that formidable in 3 elections, they wouldn't have won only 1 out of 3. In the last 16 years, NDC has won 2 elections. MPP has won 2 elections. So what makes them think they are extraordinary to come and be advising us? Our party has never split multiple times in the manner in which they have. But we survived, and they survived. They should leave our party people to take a decision and stop attempting to force Kennedy Japan on the MPP. The delegates will decide who will lead the MPP and not the NDC.
But and also, how do you think the party, as MPP as a party, can reconcile? If I say reconcile, I mean we've heard. Is the right word for me to use, anyways? Because some of the utterances we've heard from some of the party members of the MPP, you might say this is dangerous.
No, I find it very unfortunate, some of the comments that have been running around. I have never known the MPP to be like that. And so for me, when I hear some of these commentary from these people, I shudder and I'm like, wow, why are you speaking this way? Unfortunately, we have to contend with it and we have to deal with it. And I would ask that in the next 72 hours, as we get close to the Saturday, let all remain calm. Let as much as possible try to be a bit more decorous in our conversations in these few hours, and let's see what comes out of it. You know, but this whole tendency of having everybody throwing words. I mean, have you heard what Honorable Kennedy Japan said and the attacks he launched on Dr. Bawumia a few days ago? Completely unprovoked, completely unnecessary, and that is something that I never would have imagined a candidate would do, but he did. Thankfully, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not one that will respond to these things in equal measure. And so, I that's what I'll ask for. But most importantly, you can trust the MPP to come together strongly and stronger after Saturday. There's a principle in our party that after competition is collaboration. And I can assure you that by Sunday morning, we would all have come together, collaborating strongly, and getting ready to face off with the NDC in 2028.
Right. I want to ask you one question. First of all, why should delegates vote for Dr. Bawumia? Because Dr. Bray Champons is campaigning on unity. You know, Kennedy Japan is campaigning on jobs. Kobne J. Japan is campaigning on going back to our roots. I mean, the MP going back to their roots. Oseya Wadichum Doctor is campaigning on education. I mean, training physicians and what have you. What exactly is the message from Dr. Bawumia?
He's campaigning on consistency and winnability. That's all. He's telling the delegates that I am the guy that can win power for the MPP in 2028. And this is my reason. I believe that in this country, political consistency is critical. In fact, the electoral sociology of this country shows that the one that has lost the previous election stands a better chance to win the next one than a fresh candidate. And that is something that has been established by data and facts. And so Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, having traveled this journey in the 2024 elections, has lots of experience. He has learned the ropes of the job. He knows where the potholes are, where the pitfalls are. He knows where to stop. He knows where to run. The mere fact that he is the most marketable amongst all the 5 candidates is the biggest advantage. Remember, winning the next election is the #1 decision-making point for the delegates. And they believe that amongst all the 5, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the easiest candidate to sell in 2028. Why? Because he's very well known. Why? Because a lot of people already connect with him. Listen, 2024 was one of the most difficult elections any political party would have seen. And yet, in such difficult situation, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia managed to pull 42% of the votes. What it means is that if in the most difficult period, this 42% of the people turned out to vote for him, all he needs to do is to look at what we could have done better in the 2024 elections, fix it, and it shouldn't be too difficult to get the rest on board for him to win the next elections.
I want to ask my next question, but let me ask you the question now so you ponder over it, and after the break, probably you may have a very good answer to give me. I want to find out, should Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia win the elections come for the 1st of January? How does he intend to let Ghanaians understand going into the next elections he's the best bet, following a defeat in 2024? So think about that. When I come back, kindly help me with some good answers. But one of my very old colleagues, Pamela Watson, is telling me to tell you that she has a huge crush on you. So, Pamela. So don't you go to work. We're still here on Good Afternoon Ghana. I'm here with Miracle Abaj. He's the Director of Communications for Bawumia Campaign Team. The Bawumia Campaign Team. Stay with us here. We'll be back with more.
Welcome to GH Schools, your #1 training institute that offers practical-based tuition in media and a variety of skill acquisition-related areas. At GH Media School, we offer journalism and media studies, journalism and media arts, TV and film production, and multimedia production. Also, you are assured of the best beauty training with GH Cosmetology School. We offer training in massage and body therapy, makeup artistry, hair technology. Realize your dream of becoming an astute fashion designer with GH Fashion School. Here, we offer training in bridal wear, suits, ladies and men's wear, children's wear, and millinery. Do you have the interest of preparing sumptuous and tasty foods that meet local and international standards? Then GH Catering School is the best place for you. We offer training in cookery, pastry and beverage production, events decoration, and hotel management. Be abreast with the current technological trends as you train with GH Technology School. We offer computer systems, hardware and software, CCTV installation, home security, and many more. GH Schools makes available well-equipped studios and workstations to give our learners the practical and industrial standard experience during tuition. Hostel facilities are also available. Instant admission is in progress. Register now. Purchase your admission forms online on www.admissions.gaschools.online. Locate us at Achimota Abofu Junction, Junction, opposite the Shell filling station. You can also contact us on 0544 622 250, 0577 622 250, 0204 622 250, and 0277 622 250. GH Schools. We say train, practice, achieve.
I had this kind of like 5-year deadline goal to be an expert in leadership. But about halfway through the 5-year process, everything changed. I quit asking the question, how long will it take? And I started asking, how far can I go? What is your potential? How far can you go? I would have to tell you, I have no clue. The only thing I know is I'm not there yet. The only thing I know is I'm still learning, and I'm still growing, and I'm still developing, and I'm still practicing, and I'm still doing. When I grow in my awareness and I develop my strengths and I make the right choices, my potential is unlimited.
And yes, we're still here on Good Afternoon Ghana, live on Metro TV, live on DSTV channel 277, across all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, what have you, including TikTok, where you're going to get every single piece and bite from our conversations here on Good Afternoon Ghana. So go on there, follow, like, share, let's have a conversation, and join us here on the show this afternoon. We are grateful. I'm still here with the man, Dennis Miracles Abuaji, who says there are a number of, are trying to attack, are trying to attack Dr. Bawumia. So before the break, I asked you a question. I asked you about what's the plan for the Bawumia campaign team? How do you intend to let Ghanaians understand or fall in love with the brand Bawumia again? That is, if you should win your primaries come Saturday.
Let's get there. Don't jump the gun. You see, sometimes I keep telling people that politics, even 30 seconds makes a lot of difference.
Even 30 seconds?
30 seconds. See, the most disliked human being in this country in 2016 was John Mahama, His Excellency. You know that? The most disliked person in 2016. After the 2016 elections, everybody in this country said that NDC is good. Maybe you've forgotten. From 2017 to 2020, the conversation was that NDC there by December, they nego. But they are here. The same Mahama that was disliked in 2016 is now president. And so that question shouldn't even come in with this precedence. For you to understand how these things work. A government doesn't have to fail for there to be a new leader. Should I repeat it? A government does not have to fail for there to be a new leader. You know why? Because when it is time for the elections, people are not going to vote and say, I'm voting against NDC because they failed. They are going to vote for a candidate. It means that they go and listen to what the candidate is professing and how, to them, it fixes their problems. So it may not be that, oh, we are going to election because MPP has failed or NDC has failed. No. We are going to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because we believe in his ideals, his ideas, and the vision that he's espousing for the country. That is in 2028. That is 3 years from now. That is 3 years from now. Listen, today, do you know that between January 2025 and now, a lot of things have changed? You see the videos where you see the nursing college students and the teacher college students hailing Mahama and giving him funds. Yeah. Take him again to the campus and see. Go and put a ballot box today on any campus of a teacher college of education and see whether NDC will win. You know why?
Why do you say so?
Because in 2024, College of Education, they were being fed morning, afternoon, evening, breakfast, lunch, supper. In 2025, after they voted for you, College of Education is being fed once a day. Once a day. And you go and tell them that, oh, I've come, vote for me again. The students who you told that you do automatic posting for, they are still demonstrating every afternoon at the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance. Go and give them ballot box today and ask them to vote and see whether you get that overwhelming support that you got. The teachers and nurses who have worked for 12 months and have been paid 1 month's salary, you think that you can go and tell them that, oh, NDC is here, vote for me, and then they'll vote for them. Go and put a ballot box today and see. Go to University of Ghana. You know the level 200 students and the level 100 students now on campus, 2 years. You promise them that you are introducing something you call no stress fee for level 100 students. You remember that?
Yes.
For 2 academic years, 2 batches since you became president and government have gone to university. None of them benefited from no stress fee. Indeed, what they are benefiting from now is post-stress fees. And so you are saying that hustle, suffer, go through stress. If you are fortunate to be able to pay your fees and you enter university, now apply and I'll help you. Is that the promise? So go and put a ballot box today on Legon campus and see whether the NDC will get that overwhelming support. From Okponglo, you know Okponglo Junction. You see where the taxi rank is. To TF Hostel on Legon campus, 2024, the transport fee for taxi was 10 cedis. Today it is 12 cedis. You think if they knew you make it 12 cedis, they'll give you that overwhelming support. Go and put a ballot box there today and see something. So even today, just 12 months after elections, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things. Even today, go to the lorry parks. The drivers who were hailing the NDC in 2024 December, go and give them ballot box to see today and see how many of them will vote for you for harassing them on the street when they are doing private business. So you are not chasing them with canes and belts to charge fares that you want them to charge. When you have increased their utilities at home, and so if they are unable to break even or make profit, they can't pay their utilities at home. Take a ballot box to the Trotro Lorry Park today and see whether they will vote for the NDC. These are people's realities. Cocoa farmers, you promised them 6,000. You came to office and you give them 3,000 something. You didn't give them the 6,000. Worst of all, in the last 6 months, you haven't given any money to license buying companies.
You don't believe it's work in progress?
Work
it's
in
just
progress
a year.
Work in progress shouldn't keep me impoverished for 12 months. That is what it is. Work in progress. You are telling me that the farmer that in 2024 was receiving his 3,100 in peace today will clap for you for not paying him for 6 months and not also fulfilling your 6,000 Ghana cedi promise. That is the reality.
They also videos.
So 2028 is a long way. Relax, calm down.
The same videos you are referring to. There are also videos of farmers who are also saying that, there's been reduction in fertilizer, there's been reduction in farming tools and all that. Have you seen such videos?
That is why I'm saying go and put the ballot box there and see whether you get the overwhelming support that you got in the previous elections.
Right.
The illustration I was making is just to let you understand that calm down for 2028. We are not there yet. When Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia gets to 2028, it's not going to be only about what NDC haven't done. It is going to be about where he thinks he can also take the nation based on where we are in 2020, and there's a lot to talk about.
We are going to be opening the phone lines very soon, but let me ask you this. You heard Dr. Hayford. He said what they are picking up is that some of these 5 candidates, if not all, some of them, have begun sharing things like motorbikes and all that. Have you heard anything yet?
We don't even have to share, so I don't know.
No, I'm not asking you if you probably heard any of the other candidates sharing things.
I haven't heard.
Or you think we may rather see it on Friday evening?
No, I don't think so. Do you know the number of people who are voting? 211,000.
22,264.
211,000.
211,000.
Yes, this has been cleaned up to about 211,000. They are going to vote. How much do you think you can pay?
111,000.
Yes. So it's not practical. You can give everybody a motorbike. You can't.
Probably what every delegate may want may differ.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
All right. The phone lines are going to be written on the screens very soon. Just pick, dial your numbers and call us and let's have a conversation. Please, if you call, kindly lower the volume on your TV set. I beg your pardon. Please do that. Lower the volume of your TV set and listen to me and speak to me directly. Don't listen to yourself and wanting to reply yourself when you hear a sound and your voice in the TV. Don't do that. If you do that, you drop your call and pick the next person. And when you call, please make sure your comment, your remarks is simple, straightforward, brief, concise. Then move on to the next person, because I know that a lot of people want to call in and contribute to the show here this afternoon. There are a lot of messages on our social media platform. Let me attempt to read a couple of them. Let me attempt to read a couple of them.
I'm Gabriel calling.
Somebody said Dennis is fire. Okay, I don't know which fire he's talking about. Whether, okay. Dennis, somebody said you are fire. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go on the phone line and come back to this message.
Read only Pamela's message.
I should do what? I'm not reading.
Read only that one. Don't read any other. Read only Pamela's.
Let's go on the phone line and have a conversation. Hello, good afternoon to you and welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for calling. Please talk to us. We are listening.
All right. I think the NDC hasn't made their promise on the no distress policy so far. Because I voted for them based on the no distress policy. I sat down for about 4 years waiting for them to come to power to go to the university. And today I applied for an admission to one of these universities and I gained an admission. I thought maybe going into my first year will be free, but later I was given the information to pay half of my fees.
Up to what?
I was given a date to pay half of my fees before I can even register my courses, programs.
Is it a public school or a private university?
It is a public university.
Right.
So are they telling us that the no fee stress policy, is it before when you pay your fees, then they refund the money, or going into the university as a fresher, you are not paying any fees? I don't understand. And even till now, because I couldn't even afford the money to even pay half of the fees, I'm still low. Whilst I've done admission. So
Okay.
someone should explain to me. I don't understand.
Right.
And I don't think with this I can even vote for them 2028.
Okay, thank you so much for contributing. We are grateful. Let's go back on the line. Call 024-583-4980. 024-583-4980. Please, when you call, make it short, brief. Sorry, other callers can also call. Okay, I have another caller from Bubuashi. Good afternoon to you. Speak to us. We are listening.
Good afternoon. So I'd like to contribute to the MTP primary, which is coming on this Saturday.
Kindly go ahead.
And I'm urging the MPP delegates to vote for a man of vision, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And as for Dennis, we know he's doing a fantastic job. This is one case. He knows the one I'm talking. He most often writes my comments on WhatsApp and other things, on X. So we are urging all MPP delegates to vote massively for number one, the most competent among them. Without Bawumia, we cannot win the next election, and we are hoping to get a massive win coming Saturday. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for making it short. 024-583-4980. 024-583-4980. Call us now. Let's have the conversation.
Thank you so much, and thank you for making it short.
Yeah, hello. Apologies. Let's move on to the next caller, please. I told you when you call, please lower the volume of the TV set. Well, if you don't do that, we are going to drop the call and pick somebody else. So we can't speak to you. I'm sorry. 024-583-4980. When you call us, lower the volume of the TV sets and let's talk. Who is on the line this afternoon, please? Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you? How are you?
I'm great, sir. Kindly go on. We are listening.
Yeah, I'm calling from Yendi, Ibrahim.
Right.
I'm greeting Miracle very well. And our John Mama is a big liar. Because he came to Yendi and visited Yana and told Yana that from Yendi to Talitali, he's going to make sure and put asphalt on the route. Bawumia didn't let World Bank do the contract very well. Master, come and see, up to now, full 1 year, we didn't see anything. So he's not a correct person, he's a liar. We are praying for 2028.
Thank you, please, thank you. When you call, let's be a bit conscious with our words. I beg your pardon, please. It's for public consumption, so let's make sure our words are sensitized. I beg of you, please. Who is my next caller on the line, please? Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. This is Audu calling from Bolga.
Great, talk to us. We are listening.
Yes. My regards go to Abuaji Miracle.
Right.
I'm also on my knee begging all delegates across the country that come on 31st they should all vote massively for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's the person who is going to rescue this country for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Short and precise. I like that. Why aren't we getting calls from the other supporters of the other candidates? We have Kennedy Japan, we have Dr. Brian Champon, we have Engineer Kwabena Japan, we have Dr. Yodichum. Please speak to us, call us, the supporters. Let's talk. 024-583-4980. Who is my next caller? Where are you calling from and what is your name?
My name is Akuludo Augustine, calling from Volga.
Great, speak to us.
I want to congratulate Abuaji Miracle for what he's saying is a very good idea. Because Bawumia is the right person to lead the party for the 2024 election. Thank you. This is it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And my next caller, who's going to be, please? I need a few more to speak to me this afternoon, please. The gents. Let's allow the women to also speak. 024-583-4980. Who am I going to be hearing from again on the line? Who's on the line? Good afternoon to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Gambo. I'm calling from Tamale.
Right. Speak to us. We are listening.
First of all, I want to say a big thank you to Miracle for speaking so well to Ghanaians. Now, the MPP is on crossroads. And for the party to continue to exist, we need to vote for somebody who will galvanize everybody towards the 2028 elections. And that person is no other than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I urge all delegates to do well come Saturday, to come out in their numbers and vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Me, in the past 2024 primaries, I was not supporting Bawumia, but it is clear that if we want to continue to move and move well as a party, we need to give our votes to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so that the country will move forward in the right direction and to a place that we all want Ghana to be. And I don't know whether I can get a Miracle's number. I want to share something with him.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Keep calling 024-583-4980, 024-583-4980. Who is my next caller on the line? Miracle, I'll come back to you for you to respond to some of these callers. I mean, so far you've not gotten any allegations yet, so it's a smooth ride for you. You are lucky. Who am I speaking with, please? What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Refat Hussein Gunu from Tamale.
Right. Please speak to us. We are listening to you.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure for me to speak to you this afternoon. To begin with, I will say that it is never a dull moment listening to Dennis Miracle Abuaji. Yes, so I will stand here and appeal to all my fellow delegates, those from Savulu constituency, that is my mother constituency, to vote massively for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on January 31st, this Sunday. Inshallah, he shall be our candidate. I mean, who doesn't know that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the right candidate for MPP?
Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Both of them know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We are grateful. Miracle, a lot of love for you. You are loved in Tamale, Boliga, and the environs.
It's for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and it tells you what I mean. You see, the MPP delegates know exactly what they want. You know, some of these executives have been around since 1992. Some who have been polling station executives since 1996. Others 2000. They understand what it's required for a party like the MPP to bounce back from a condition and situation we find ourselves in. And tell me why it shouldn't be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. There's none. Because every single thing you may say is the reason why it shouldn't be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will point to the fact that then nobody else can be. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has given this country one of the most clear-cut, cogent visions that we have seen in recent times. The doctor, the nurse, the teacher, the mechanic, everybody can identify themselves in the vision Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is espousing. And he managed to pull through about 42% of the country's vote in one of the most difficult elections we have seen in this country. 2 weeks to elections. Organized labor were threatening you of going for an indefinite strike. A week to elections, you had young people on the streets of the capital protesting against Galamsey. Almost everything was going against the MPP. Even in such a difficult situation, there are some 42% of the people who believe that this man represents the future and the hope of this country. And that if we want to have the absolute modernized and transformed Ghana that we all desire, then we need Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Maybe it didn't happen in 2024, but I'm very convinced in my mind that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be given the chance in 2028 by the Ghanaian people. Not because somebody failed, but simply because his time has come for him to also show the country what he can do.
Right. I mean, I know you asked me what I'm eagerly looking for on the laptop like that. I'm just trying to retrieve the post that was released by Global Info Analytics, pegging Dr. Bawumia at 57 and Kennedy Japan at 28, Dr. Brani Champon at 13, Osei Educhum at 2%, and Carr at 0. But aside that, the Dr. Hayford from Africa Policy Lens and the entire team there are saying 69.9%. These are two leading figures for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let me be inquisitive. If there is any research you've done from your end, what figures are you getting?
I'm too experienced in my very young age in politics to know that when I'm going for an election, I just want the threshold, the minimum threshold.
That's what you care about?
Every other thing is a bonus. I've learned too much in politics to understand that. And so I have always insisted that we just want a win for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Every other, in addition to the 50% plus one, is a bonus. One thing is for sure, that he is going to win the elections. The posters, the prophets, the magicians, there is this consensus that it is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's time. That one, I don't think there is any doubt about that. Once that is achieved, then we will now come and analyze what the margin was. But for now, the focus is on winning the elections. And winning the election is 50% plus one. There was a time in this country where Professor Mills became president with barely some, it's not even up to 100,000 votes, 2008. And then in 2016, another one with 1 million, but they were all presidents with the same power. And today, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, one with 1.7 million, the same power, the same. So just win. That is the most important, the most crucial, thing you need to achieve.
You don't think the differences will make an impact? It may solidify your win.
After you have won, then you look at solidifying. Win first.
Okay, anyways, let me veer off a little bit from this MPP primaries conversation and ask you your view on what just happened today. Well, the Supreme Court, by majority decision 4-1, delivered today, quashed the ruling of the High Court in Tamale, which nullified the parliamentary election results for the Pandai constituency. How does that make you feel?
I am not surprised. I mean, this morning, I think early morning when I went for one of my media engagements, I told them I know the Supreme Court will overturn because the Supreme Court cannot go against its own words. You see, the Supreme Court is the one that has jurisdiction over our election processes in the first place. And the Supreme Court and its previous rulings on some other elections has already made a point that when we go into an election, you don't take the election wholesale. You must be specific with your concerns. So you go to the court with your concerns around the polling stations and what happened there. If it is a coalition center, what happened? And then you present the evidence as such. I was surprised that the High Court judge who gave the initial ruling actually said that even though the applicant came to court with 41 polling stations as the concern or complaint, he is granting a complete rerun of the entire election. And the question I asked myself was that for those of us who are in polling stations where there were no issues, which the applicant didn't have any concerns with, so they didn't go to court, why are you making us go and rerun? And so I knew from the get-go that the whatever it is that they're saying will not stand. And I'm glad the Supreme Court, stood by what they themselves have already said in the past.
I mean, it puts the matter to rest.
Yes, absolutely.
I heard there was some hot jammer this morning at the court after the declaration.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people
videos
I'm sure there are people
online
up
and
and
that.
I'm sure there are people up and because you can imagine the stress they were going to go through. So I'm sure the people of Pandai they will be quite excited about this.
I mean, 5 more minutes for us to leave here. Let me give you that 5 minutes. Probably any delegate watching right now, from the north to the south to the east to the west, wherever. I mean, what exactly are you telling them?
In a few hours, barely 72 hours from now, the moment will come. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not saying he is a perfect human being in our party, but he believes strongly that he has what it takes to lead this party to victory. I personally, I can vouch for his integrity. I can vouch for his credibility. His competence, I have seen it very up close. His level of humility, respect for all human, and the way he carries himself, his demeanor, is one that I'm strongly convinced that the Ghanaian people will prefer over all the others. And so I would urge my fellow delegates that let's do this for the MPP. We're not doing this just for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We are doing it for the MPP. We are in very extraordinary times. The situation the MPP finds itself now requires a leader with a steady head, a leader with that kind of demeanor that is able to bring everybody together, a leader that doesn't dissipate, but rather embrace, a leader that is focused on getting every party person joining him on the journey. And he has always put that across. That's why the theme for his campaign is our journey together. That he's not going to leave anybody behind. And that he believes that with the experience he has gained, what he has learned over the period, and the knowledge he has acquired over the period leading our party, he knows enough to be able to know where the pitfalls are, where the potholes are, what to do and what not to do, so that he can meander this journey safely and get the MPP to the promised land, which is victory in election 2028. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. And I'll be here with Dennis Miracle Sabuaji, Director of Communications for Bawumia campaign team. And he just told me that the number has been cross-checked and cleared, and that it stands at around 211,000 delegates who will be going to the polls to cast their vote to elect a new flag bearer for the MPP. Don't forget, it's going to be between 5 candidates. Dr. Brian Acheampong, Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, Dr. Yao Aduchum, Engineer Kwabena Agyapong, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I told you earlier that Dr. Brian Acheampong is campaigning on unity. Kennedy Agyapong has been campaigning on jobs for the youth, jobs for the people. We have Osei Aduchum campaigning vigorously on education. We have Engineer Kwabena Agyapong campaigning on going back to our roots. And now I've been told, or what he mentions, reiterates that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been campaigning on credibility and consistency. So as a delegate has to go and cast your ballot, know that the person you are voting for is who you want the party MPP to lead you going into the next elections 2028. So I've been here with him, having a lot of conversation. From the Global Info Analytics, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is leading the entire 5 contenders with about 52%. But if you go to Africa Policy Lens, it's standing somewhere around 69.9. I mean, when I was in school, I was taught to run up figures. So if I'm to run it up, it may come around 70%. But let's stick with their numbers. It says 69.9%.
And I hear some of the prophets are also giving figures.
Some of the what?
Prophets.
Some of the prophets are giving figures. Have you heard any of them?
Oh, yeah. I hear El Bernard has given a figure of 52.
52.
Yes, and 30 something for Dr. Bawumia and all of that.
I mean, I didn't add it because it's not scientifically proven.
Why? Why do you think it's not? Who is the best scientist than God?
Please, let me stick with what I know. I beg you. Thank you so much.
And then Prophet Walasi is also predicting
Miracle, don't do this.
Else for,
no, don't do this. Thank you so much.
For Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm just saying that when we are mentioning posters, let's not exclude.
Yes,
let's
I'll heard you. On Facebook, Honorable Boru says, if calling Dr. Bawumia a liar was not wrong, then it should not be wrong today calling His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a liar too. He promised to end water crisis in Tamale, and it has been a year we haven't heard from them again. I can confidently tell you that if there is a ballot today, the NDC can't get the number they had again. We are in pain. And that one is from Honorable Boru. That's the name he's given here. And Amamu Awao says we support the cause for Dr. Bawumia to lead the NPP family to victory. I mean, there are lots of messages online. None of the 5 NPP presidential aspirants are not capable to lead this country, especially Bawumia is among them. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show this afternoon. I am Bryce Nanakwesi Menin. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
While internal party
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Get ready to splash into love this Valentine's season. Join the Campus Red Pool Party on Friday, 13 February at